Now, welcome to the continuation of the embryology of respiratory system, whereby we are going to deal with the embryology of the bronchi and the lungs. Now, the laryngotracheal diverticulum divides this laryngotracheal tube into two bronchial buds, whereby each bud invaginates into different pericardioperitoneal canal, therefore forming left and right main principal bronchi. So each bronchial bud develops into a principal bronchus, also called the primary bronchus or the main bronchus. So the two primary divisions of the caudal part of the respiratory diverticulum forms the right and the left main bronchi or the principal bronchi. Pertaining the differences, the right principal bronchus is slightly larger than the left principal bronchi, and it is oriented more in line with the trachea. The left principal bronchi comes to lie more transversely than the right. What is the clinical correlation of this? This is to enable the accumulation of the foreign bodies which might be sucked into the lung to accumulate in the right lung rather than in the left lung. That's why the right principal bronchus is slightly larger and slightly elevated than the left principal bronchus. Now, there is continuous branching of this main bronchi, therefore forming lobar bronchi, which therefore forms the alveolus and the alveoli. So therefore, it then continues to branch. There is extensive branching of this bronchi up to the 19th airway generation. Now, let's flip the coin to the embryology of the lungs, whereby we have different stages or the phases of the lung maturation. There are five phases of lung maturation. The first one is the embryonic stage. The second one is the pseudoglandular stage. The third one is the canalicular stage. The fourth one is the terminal sac stage. And finally, the alveolar stage. Now, let's start with the first one, that is the embryonic stage or the embryonic phase. This phase occurs in between 3 to 5 weeks of intrauterine life. So the following processes happens during this stage. First, there is formation of the respiratory diverticulum and the septation of the foregut caudocranially by the tracheoesophageal septum. The second one is the formation of the bronchial buds due to septation of the foregut in the right and the left buds. That thing you see that these bronchial buds correspond to the first generation of airway division, that is the main bronchi or the principal bronchi. Also, there is a formation of the main pulmonary vessels, which will drain the lungs. At this stage, the lung has not yet fully formed. Therefore, the fetus born within 3 to 5 weeks may not survive at all. Let's move to the second stage, that is the pseudoglandular stage, which occurs at the period of 5 to 16 weeks. Let me show you the slide pertaining that. So at this stage, there is continuous branching of the airways up to the terminal bronchiole. So there is extensive branching from the second airway generation up to the 16th generation of airway division, marking the end of the conducting zone. Also, there is a formation of the accompanying blood vessels accompanying this continuous branching of the bronchus. At this stage, the lung resembles an exocrine gland Hence, therefore, the lungs are rapidly proliferating, leading to solid stage of development. So, solid stage of development is just the obliteration of the lumen due to the rapid proliferation of the endodermal cells in the luminal structure, leading to the occlusion of the lumen. Finally, at this stage, if a child is born at this stage, he or she may not survive, since there is no formation of the respiratory bronchioles. We can flip the coin and move to the third stage, that is the canalicular stage, occurring at the period of 16 to the 26th week. Due to the rapid proliferation in the previous stage, we need to retain the luminal structure. Therefore, this is a phase of airway canalization, whereby the obliterated lumen is therefore returned back into the luminal structure. At this stage, there is formation of respiratory bronchioles and the alveolar ducts up to the 19th generation of airway division. The first was from up to the 16th. Therefore, at this stage, there is formation of respiratory bronchioles from the 16th airway generation of airway division up to the 19th generation of airway division. Also, at this stage, there is formation of blood vessels accompanying the formed bronchioles, which are largely of cuboidal cells, meaning they are type 2 pneumocyte cells. Also, at this stage, due to the formation of blood vessels accompanying bronchioles, it becomes highly vascularized. Therefore, a child born at this stage will likely to survive if given intensive care. Why? This is because of the presence of the cuboidal epithelial cells, that is type 2 pneumocytes, which is therefore relevant for secretion of the lipoprotein 16, that is the surfactant layer. We can flip the coin to the fourth stage, that is the terminal sac stage, occurring between 26th week up to birth. It is also called the sacular stage, meaning there is production of sacules. Let me show you the slide pertaining that. So at this stage, many more sacules develop and their epithelium becomes thinner. The second thing you say, more alveolar ducts are formed and alveolar sacs start appearing. By 26th week, the terminal sacules are lined by the squamous cells. Now, these squamous cells are the type 1 pneumocyte cells. They are of squamous in nature. At this stage also, the type 2 pneumocytes secrete surfactant, though the surfactant itself is inadequate. Therefore, if the fetus is born at this stage, he or she will have high probability of surviving. Now, we now transit to the last stage, that is the alveolar stage. This stage, a little bit coalesce with the previous stage. Why? This is because it starts at the 32 weeks, that is the 8 months to 8 years. So there is a collision between the terminal sac stage and the alveolar stage. What happens in this alveolar stage? First, there is more expansion and continuous thinning of the alveoli. Number 2, there is continuous thinning of the membrane, the respiratory membrane, that is the epithelium. There is also further secretion of type 2. There is further surfactant secretion by type 2 pneumocytes. Therefore, there is sufficient surfactant, or what you call the lipoprotein 16, secreted at this 5th stage. At this stage also, the lung become highly vascularized due to increased capillary network due to extensive branching of the bronchioles. Therefore, there will be formation of the blood vessels accompanying the respiratory bronchioles. Since it extends up to 8 years, so after birth, this phase extends postnatally up to the age of 8 years. At postnatally, there'll be formation of many more bronchioles as compared to the gestation period. So it is almost a fifth of the total bronchioles of an adult is formed during the gestation period, while the 4/5 of the total respiratory bronchioles are formed postnatally or after birth. Now, those are stages pertaining the lung maturation. Now, let me a little bit tell you the steps for production of surfactant. Now, surfactant secretion occurs in some 3 steps. The first step, you say the fibroblasts surrounding the lungs secretes the substance called the fibroblast pneumocyte factor, that is abbreviated as FPF. What have I just said? I've said the fibroblasts surrounding the lungs secretes what you call the fibroblast pneumocyte factor, that is the FPF. The second step, you say that the lung fibroblast simulates the fibroblast pneumocyte factor. Therefore, this stimulation of fibroblast pneumocyte factor stimulates the secretion of the surfactant due to the triggeration of type 2 pneumocytes. So the stimulation of the fibroblast pneumocyte factor stimulates the secretion of the surfactant due to the triggeration of type 2 pneumocytes. Those are just 3 steps of production of lung surfactant. Now, thank you for your attentiveness during this lecture recording. Thank you very much. We meet in the next lecture, whereby I will be adding the congenital anomalies of the lungs. Then we finish the embryology of the respiratory system. In case you have any question or any point that you want me to touch at it, you just write me on the comment section down there. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel for more important information, mainly to medical students and also the postgraduate students and also upgraders taking nursing, Bachelor of Science in Clinical Medicine, Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy, and also Bachelor of Science in Medicine and Surgery students. So thank you very much for your attention. We meet in the next lecture recording. Thank you.